welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wealth.
Well, you're here on the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KH, and also in the new Volt Media Studio. That's right, we have moved. You probably heard it in the prior segments, but maybe not. But we're really excited. Skyline Home Loans is growing. Believe it or not, Gino and I started this group with Skyline Home Loans literally 7 years ago. Yeah. 4 of us in a room about the size of our studio.
Yep, it was really loud. If you haven't noticed before, I'm a very loud individual, so it was not easy for all these people to work around us.
No, we had to go outside to make phone calls when Gino was in the house or sending him out. So we're very proud, though, now we have moved to the Sunkist building. Everybody knows the Sunkist building right next to Magic Mountain. That's right, on your way. You can come by and say hi, but we now have 10,000 square feet, 28 people, and growing, and it's because of you, and we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to help you with your dream of home ownership, your refinancing, and anything else.
And in fact, just like Don and I have always, when we started the radio show, it's to guide you to personal and financial wellness, and our guest is going to help you do that today, because not everything revolves around homes or mortgages. There's so many other pieces to your life plan, and this is one of those pieces that is hard to understand, and I think it's a real challenge.
I think it's one of the most challenging things to understand.
Yeah, it's just the guidance, and I know that our guest is going to say stop bashing these people, but the guidance you get at public schools in high school, it's just not good enough. It just really isn't.
Yeah. So in that desire to, again, help, to guide you to personal financial wellness, we have the America's Professional Resource Group, which picks out professionals in every phase of your life, insurance and trust and so much. And one of those is, how the heck do I get my kid in college, and what college, and how do I afford it? Is we have the man, the myth, the legend, who's been on our show at least a dozen times, Mr. Robert Schwartz with Premier College Guide. Woo!
Gentlemen, on behalf of, let me just look in the camera, on behalf of all of my public counseling friends, I didn't put them up to that. I think you're doing a terrific job. But I appreciate you guys, fluffing my roles, and it is, as always, a pleasure to be here. I always enjoy being in the Vault Studios, even though we have moved to a new site. Having you pleasant gentlemen next to me is always a pleasure.
All right. Well, what's cool is, Robbie, you've helped now more and more of our clients. You've helped educate. You're an educator like us. That's what we love.
For sure.
Is that you don't just, hey, pay me, and I tell you what school to go to or how to get a good SAT. You're an educator, and I love that. You can't help yourself. We can't help ourselves. That's why we use the tools we use. That's why we're passionate about what we do, is we love to educate. And that's what I think your strength is you don't just cookie cutter. It's, let me ask the questions. And why don't we start with that? Because we're going to talk about how challenging the UC system is. Oh, my hell.
Yep.
And there are other options. So do we want to start with the challenge at the UC system and why it's good to talk to somebody like you to know that there are options?
Certainly, and I think it's helpful for me to tell my own story here. The idea that I applied to 6 colleges back in the 90s when dinosaurs were walking the face of the earth, and I can look back on that story. I applied to UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Irvine, University of Arizona. My guidance counselor lost the application.
It was fate.
Yeah. Arizona State, I withdrew my application because I grew up in the San Fernando Valley where it was already hot and crappy. And then Sun Devil Stadium said, hotter and crappier than where you already live. And San Diego State, which back in the early 90s, the admission standard looked a lot like this. You're alive. Congratulations, you've been admitted. So for me, it came down to UCLA and San Diego State. Those are the only schools that said yes. That was a really easy decision. However, as an adult who understands my learning style now and understands, well, how does the college system actually work and how does the money actually work, I should have applied to none of them. I was a lousy fit.
I love this
for all 6. So my job as a counselor now is to say, do I understand you as a student? Do I understand your family dynamic? Do I understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, even if you don't know what it is you're trying to accomplish? How do I build a school list that matches your needs? How do I give you the tools to research those schools so you really know what it is you're buying? How do I give you the strategies that are going to help you unlock the best way to accomplish your goals? There's a million different ways to skin this cat. I know that's morbid. But the idea is if you don't take the time to find out who you are and separate yourself from everyone else, well, then you're just in the herd. And then you end up in the UC system. And we'll talk about some numbers in just a minute that are, to be honest, staggering.
Yeah, you know what? I relate to that because the reason I got into mortgages was I was a real estate investor and I was getting horrible advice. I mean, just absolutely horrible. It was all about people making a profit and just kind of going with the lowest common denominator, the easy road, and no one took the time to educate.
Well,
and
especially when they made as much as they possibly could on you.
oh, holy hell, they were making tons of money on me.
Yeah.
Now that I know what they were doing and the loans I was being put in, it was a crime. It really was a crime.
And they paid for that. They're no longer in the business.
They're no longer in the business. Absolutely. Those people are no longer
And some
in the
of those
business.
went to jail.
A few of them, but
Yeah.
probably more should have. But, you know, the reality is that I love that because that creates a sense of passion of saying, I don't want people to suffer the same fate that I had, and I want someone to have.
Story, yeah.
It's good because it creates this, I want something better for my clients than what I was able to get myself.
That's dead on, you know.
Yeah.
And that, sorry, Don, gold star. And it wasn't even a question.
Right out of the box. So ultimately, we do want to talk a little bit about the UC system because it does seem like the easy fit when you grow up in Southern California.
Or
Like,
not so easy after you look at those numbers.
well, but that's what you think, right? I want to go to UCLA. I think what you did, the schools you applied to, is a pretty natural
That's
progression.
where I thought I would have gone, but now that you know me, I don't think that would have been the right choices for me either.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You would have thrived in a nice small learning environment. You would have been a dynamic learner. You would have challenged your professors. You would have challenged the students around you, which would have made all of you better. That doesn't happen at a large UC school. It just doesn't. So let's start with the harsh reality. You know, and this is something I publish. It's free. If you're interested, you're welcome to visit Don and Gino's website. They'll have all the information you need. You can also visit or email me, for crying out loud, Rob, R-O-B, at premiercollegeguide.com. I will send you this information for free. No strings attached,
yeah.
no questions asked. It goes out to over 200 college counselors and 1,500 families statewide. It's free. Take it. It's yours. Well, one of the things that I provided was last year's data set for the University of California directly from the UCOP, UC Office of the President. Not my numbers, their numbers. They're stark. Stark is generous. They're scary. They're the kind of things that make you sit around the kitchen table and go, okay, well, that's not going to happen. Now what do we do? Berkeley's middle 50% of their GPA is between a 4.16 and a 4.32. Davis, their threshold is above almost a 4.05 to a 4.28. Irvine, 4.04 to 4.27. UCLA, 4.19 to 4.33. Riverside, 3.6 to 4.05. I said
So you have a chance.
Riverside. But we're still talking about a group of students who are still achieving 4.0s at Riverside, considered number 7, maybe number 8 in the UC system, if you believe in that sort of stuff. San Diego, 4.1 to 4.3. Santa Barbara, 4.0 to 4.27. Santa Cruz, 3.77 to 4.16. The only one that still really offers a close to a safe bet is UC Merced. And let's not kid ourselves, who really wants to be in Merced? 3.37 to 3.9. Merced. Middle of nowhere. Farm country. 3.9.
Yeah. It's
What
definitely.
gives?
Yeah, if you're going
It's
for
staggering.
agriculture, that's a good place.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. And you know, agriculture's not a bad thing if we ever have water here in California. But that's probably it. There's no water. There's no farmland. There's nothing over there. There's nothing to do. Period. What are you going to do in Merced? And if you're looking for some sort of college lifestyle, Merced's
You go water
not the
skiing
place.
out there. You go water skiing out there.
So at any rate, so even though those numbers are staggering and they sound kind of daunting because any of us will be like, God, you have to have really great grades. What seemed even worse to me in the report was like, okay, so now let's say I have those grades and I apply, right? I think I got what it takes, right? And I want to go and I'm going to apply and I'm going to battle it out.
What's the percentage?
The percentage of people that get accepted, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
And well, here's the catch.
Wait. We're going to have to go to a little break.
Oh, there's a catch. You have to wait.
Yeah, you do. I'm sorry. You're gonna have
good
to
job
wait
done.
and find out. So they call it a tease in our business. Anyways, it's not like Gino's wife, but this is different.
Oh.
Oh, red flag. I know, I got it thrown. Anyways, no gold stars for Don, but you want to stick around because there's some gold stars for you and your children and some great advice from Rob Schwartz with Premier College Guide when we come back.